Hey guys, it's Ron with R-Studios, and we're talking about Towers of Xandermere, a game of conquest. And today's topic is bumping. Bumping can be pretty brutal and have some major impact on the game, and I want to explain to you how bumping works. So bumping works when you land on an opponent's space exactly. As you're moving across the board, you're going to pass one another and roll and move, and it doesn't have any impact. But if you make a move that lands exactly on an opponent's space, then you get to bump that player. So let's take a look as an example here. This board's been set up to show yellow has worked their way across the bridge, and they're heading to the finish tower to wrap the game up. And orange, they're working on trying to get to the bridge to get across to their side. So that's the scenario. These guys are coming this way. Orange is heading towards the bridge. It's yellow's turn, and they roll a 2. Now, the player yellow 2 decides they're going to bump the orange player 1, 2, and land exactly on his space. When a player is bumped, the bumped player or token is moved backwards on the board to the nearest tavern or stop. So in this case, the player is bumped back, and it looks like there's a tavern before any stop spaces, and that's where that player would be bumped back to. That's quite a bump with quite a journey ahead to recoup those spaces. So that's how that bump would work. But let's take a look at another bump where it's not the tavern that they go back to, but the player would be moved back to a stop. So let's take the same scenario. We have yellow coming across, and orange is trying to get to the bridge, and orange rolls a 2. And they decide that they're going to bump the yellow player. So they move their 2 spaces, and they're going to bump this guy back. So again, remember that a bumped token will go back to the closest stop or tavern. So in this case, it's really not that big a deal because the closest stop is right here. But this board was set up on purpose like this to show you what we refer to as chain reactions. Chain reactions can be extremely brutal. So in this case, orange bumped yellow back to the closest stop. There was another player already, one of their own actually, on the stop. So they have to go back, and they get bumped back to the closest stop or tavern. In this case, it would be a stop space. Look at this chain reaction. We have the blue player. He's worked his butt off to get across the board and to get to the bridge, but guess what? He just got bumped back. And where would he be bumped back to? That's right. It would be to the closest tavern, which is back there, meaning that he's going to have to start his journey from here to get back to that bridge. So that's how bumping works and how chain reactions work. I hope that was helpful. Hey, if you haven't got the game yet, get over to r-studios.com and place your order now. We really appreciate the support. If you have any questions, hit us up below.